Okay, so when I first heard about arbitrations on PC, I saw a lot of negative feedback that came from the arbitrations, and now it has arrived on console, and I've given myself about a little less than a week worth of gameplay just to try it out, just to get a feel for it and to get an opinion about this mode. And I have to say, it's kind of a mixed bag. It's good, but it's not bad, I guess. It's not the best thing on the planet. I see there could be a lot of potential for this mode, but it does need a lot of work to be able to work for endgame players because it's way too many problems when it comes to the actual warframes themselves and some of the actual rewards you get from them. So I'm gonna make this video just to talk about all the goods and bads about this. So to start off with, the rewards are kind of boring, I guess I could say. Boring would be a weird term to use. I believe they should add a lot more variety of stuff such as Kuva, relic packs, ducats, anything of that sort, and to not really use sculptures. They've been using sculptures for a lot of reward tables for a long time now, ever since they were introduced, and it's been getting kind of annoying. Like, if you're gonna put Endo as one of the rewards, why are you putting sculptures too? That's just giving us 2 Endo rewards back to back, especially if you're getting them back to back in a mission from the 10 and 20 minute mark in like a survival. It's kind of annoying, and I'm pretty sure they could put a lot of like other stuff. Now I'm going to talk about the actual missions that I have written on my notepad. So to start off with, the survivals feel more like a nuisance than a challenge since they did reduce the amount you actually get. It is kind of annoying how you can only go a certain amount of time and it's based on RNG. Sometimes you'll get a lot of actual energy drops, so you'll be able to stay alive longer, and sometimes you'll get close to none, so it's never really sure on your own skill on whether you can survive 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or even 40 or 50. It's all RNG based, and that's not really what we were expecting when it comes to the actual survivals. It should be based on our own skill and how well we can actually kill enemies to get more of these actual drops. It's really unfair for people to get it on 10 minutes one and then like 30 minutes for another person. It's really unfair. As for Defection, Defection still feels pretty slow. I was kind of hoping that they would make it faster so you don't have to stand around and do nothing, since a lot of times in the base mission you will just stand around and just wait for one of your teammates to just bring them to the next actual area and then transport them back into the ship so that you can get to the next point. But it doesn't feel any different. The only exception it does feel faster is the fact that when they die, they stay dead, they don't go down, which sometimes they do get glitched and they don't move. So it does speed that process up so you don't have to wait for them to go down and then have to revive them and all that kind of stuff. It just gets to the point a lot faster, but the mission itself doesn't really feel faster. Defenses are kind of fine. I mean, defenses are defenses. Sure, they did reduce the time in between the actual rounds, which is cool, so it would be a little bit faster then, but there's really nothing different between the defenses other than its actual like difficulty. And they did make it to where it's actual moving defense, so you can't just sit in one spot with like a frost bubble and just do nothing. That'll make it too easy, so it's nice that they made it into the swordy kind of stuff to make it more of a challenge and not just have people camp in one spot. Now as for the interceptions, I think this is the best one in my opinion when it comes to having one of these arbitration missions. They made it harder to the point where you don't just sit there and lollygag and do nothing. You actually have to try in this, which is the point of this for it to be endgame, is for you to actually try and not just sit around and chit chat the whole time. You actually have to play, since they made it easier for the opponents to actually get to 100%, and when they're holding more points, they'll get it even faster, so it does make it more challenging, which is a good thing since this is supposed to be endgame content. Now the last things are the infested salvage and the excavations. I still haven't been able to run into any of those missions, since I'm pretty sure they probably play those around times when I'm not even awake or even home, so I won't be able to play these for a while probably, but I'm pretty sure they're going to play the same as always. The excavations just give you less actual energy per pickup, and the timer's a little bit longer, so I guess that makes it a little bit more difficult, but I'm not really too interested in that, but I guess it will be better. And the infested salvage, I don't really plan on playing that anyway, since I never liked the original to begin with, so I'm not really going to touch that even if it was there to begin with. Now my last actual problem is the 300% buffs that are given towards your warframes and your weapons. These are way too specific when it comes to actual buffs. I believe it would be a lot better if they made 300% power strength in general for the warframes, and then they make a 300% duration or efficiency or any of that sort. Of course, efficiency would only be 175, but it would be good since you would be able to build your actual Warframe around that actual buff. So if you're using someone like Nova, you can have that 300% power strength buff and make everyone a lot slower. But then if you have someone else like the Duration, you can always bring something like a Loki, which would make you have a really long invisibility period, which would be really good. And you would be able to break past that actual limit of percentage that's on the actual stats. And the 300% damage should be a lot more specific towards either rifles, bows, snipers, pistols, shotguns, any of that sort, so you'll be able to use a specific weapon type instead of having to use a specific weapon itself. So you'll be able to use decent weapons and not just something that no one maybe even has. It might be a weapon no one has or no one even likes to begin with, or might not fit the actual mission itself, which would be good since you'll be able to have a lot more variety of weapons to use, and it would make it a lot easier on people. Now the last thing is with the Warframes themselves, since all I see most of the time is Inaros, even I use Inaros, since that's the only frame I see that's truly effective in this mode. You want to be able to be tanky since you only have one life. You don't want to waste your time having these high damage builds since you want to survive as long as possible so you can actually continue and get more rewards. I believe finding a way to make other frames more viable, such as Ash, Trinity, any of that sort, to make them a lot more viable into this mission, and a lot of lower tier Warframes will be able to come up into this and be able to be effective with other players, and you could be able to do this solo as well. So that's all of my real gripes and stuff with this actual mode. It's not a terrible idea, it just needs a lot of work when it comes to the actual mission types, and some of the little nitpick kind of things like the actual buffs can make things a lot better, especially the rewards. The rewards need a huge overhaul with a bunch of new rewards and not just using the same reward over and over and over. Now of course having the same rewards for each rotation is good, since some people can't always go to the third rotation. At least you'll be able to get the rewards on the first rotation, just on a lower value, so to get the good stuff you'll have to actually do it again. So that's pretty good for itself. So that's all my problems with the actual arbitrations and all the good things I can say about it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe for more Warframe content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.